the code wanted it to be named Speed City. The United States Grand Prix has been held on and off since 1908. It was originally called the American Grand Prix up until 1960 when it became the United States Grand Prix that we know today. The track opened on October 21st, 2012. The track's inaugural race was held in November of the same year.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Indian Racing League. This is Division 1, as it always is on Saturdays, and we are in the state of Florida in Miami for the Miami Grand Prix. And joining me in the comms box is someone who absolutely dominated the Division 2 race last night. Led almost every lap, or he claims he actually led every lap. It's Srikanth in the comms box tonight. Srikanth, how are you doing? And congratulations on that very, very dominant win yesterday on this track.
Hello, Malav. Yeah, the win felt nice, and your claim of that almost every lap, it was every lap.
Oh, it was every lap. Good for you. That's a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Don't see those very often.
Yeah. So, when you were introduced, I saw Redstone and VFX they were racing on the outlaps. So
Yeah, it was a bit of funny
These two
business
are-
going on between Redstone and VFX. They battled each other in Division 1 when Redstone graduated a couple of seasons back and won it on his first attempt. And this time around, Srikanth, Redstone is leading the field by 36 points. And the man in P2 is Redstone's teammate himself, Abhishek. What do you think of Mercedes this season and the performances they've been putting in? It almost seems like they are replicating Mercedes of real life from a few seasons back.
I mean, they are replicating it, and I will say that Mercedes domination could bore fans. It is definitely boring us in the comms box, but yeah.
Yeah, it is boring us for sure. Redstone and Abhishek really putting down a marker, and then in terms of pace, in terms of teamwork, rarely get involved in any incidents. And well, that's a testament to the fact that Redstone has won 3 races of the last 3, and in total Mercedes have won 4 races of the first 5 held this season. Well, it could have been 5 out of 5, Srikanth. I'm sure you remember what happened in Imola,
Yeah.
where Redstone got a time penalty just towards the end of the race. I think it was on the last lap where he got that penalty. So it could have been 5 out of 5. It could have been a perfect record, a perfect start to the season. But there is no reason at all if Redstone and Abhishek participate in every race that they can win every race they participate in from here on out.
They can, because today Redstone's banker is only 26.5, 26.6 rounding up. And he is what? Oh, never mind. VFX is on medium tires. So yeah, VFX is casually doing his race runs. So yeah, we have Ethan and
VFX usually starts his quali on the medium tires and then goes on to the softs. That's his way of saving one fresh pair of softs for the race. As Abhishek in the comments says hello. So Abhishek, I believe you are moving countries, if I'm not wrong. So good luck with whatever you are pursuing, and we hope that you are eventually going to set up your setup or your rig and will continue to race with us, not racing tonight. So Redstone is a lone Mercedes driver.
Abhishek, if you are listening to this, please recruit Spain 2016, please. We need that.
Well, I don't know if you're racing in Spain this season. No, we are not. It seems very unlikely as Caesar is getting a tow from Williams ahead of him. The Williams is not moving. I think that's Jishnu, or has he caught up to Jishnu despite leaving a gap at the start of
But Caesar
the
is pitting. Yeah, he
yes.
wasn't using his battery. And in all of that, I would like to point out like the fight in constructors for P2 is very close between McLaren, Aston Martin, Williams, and Red Bull. Yeah, forgetting Red Bull. Yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, it is pretty close, as you said.
we
Just
have one.
5 points.
Yeah.
Sorry, just 9 points between these four constructors. So while Mercedes are clear in terms of their charge for the constructors championship, it is these teams which you mentioned. That's Red Bull and Aston Martin, Williams and McLaren, which are kind of fighting for the scraps or P2 in the championship.
And in all of that, Williams is at a loss because they are missing one driver. Shooter is not racing today, so yeah, that's a big loss for Williams right there.
Yeah, and it is
And
all a strong lineup for Williams, as it is for Aston Martin, I would say as well. I see Noble also on the track, so I think every driver is racing in that quartet of four constructors, except for Williams. So, Hope Shooter is back with us in a race or two. Let's try to pick up anyone else. So Baz meanwhile has gone P2 with a 27.4, and it's almost a second of Redstone up. What was the pole time last night, Srikanth? You put a 27.2 if I'm not
it
wrong?
was 27.2.
Right,
27.2.
27.2. So except Redstone, everyone else is yet to beat that, and we expect a few drivers to kind of attempt to go even faster. Now Redstone is out on track once again. So let's see what he
We
does.
have
Let's see if
Noble,
he
the only
improves.
guy who is on a lap, like who is on poly lap. So yeah, he's going through the chicane. Let's be on board with him, and he navigates the chicane very cleanly. He cut both the curb and taken it easy into the left hander and into the back straight. He well activates DRS. Let's see how much he is up. Oh, it's his first lap. My bad. So yeah,
Yeah, this is
let's
first
see.
lap, so we won't really have a reference as he has
DRS
one more braking
activated.
decision to go.
Penultimate corner. Third gear. This is the apex. Oh, he's not using the track width right there, but let's see what will this that time will be. And it's a 27.2, and he jumps up to P2 right there. Noble Gata, and that's a nice lap from Noble Gata right there. And that's a Red Bull in top. I
Very
like it.
tidy lap indeed as Nobel Gata goes P2. And now I don't know if this is faster than your lap last night, Srikanth. I don't know if it was 284 or
It
something faster than
it
that.
is
But they're getting
210,
210,
210.
so
Yes,
almost
sir.
this lower tenths as far as the time is concerned. But they're getting closer to you. Let's see what other drivers do. And Redstone Up might be starting a lap. Yeah, he is just about starting a lap as he drifts through the penultimate corner. So probably would have lost some momentum as he starts the lap. And we'll keep an eye out on him as let's try to pick up someone else. I don't think anyone else is on a lap right now. Yash Kosalia is doing some race
Caesar
runs.
is starting his lap.
Caesar is starting his lap. Srikanth, would you want to go on board with Caesar?
Yes, please. Yeah, navigating through the fast right hander, going towards turn 4, and he is braking in the corner. You shouldn't brake there, and he has missed the apex, and it's a pretty wide situation for Caesar right there, and going into the tight left hander of turn 8, and he hit the outer apex. That's a pretty slow sector 1 for Caesar right there. Let's see if he can maximize in the sector 2 chicane, parking lot chicane. So let's see. Going towards turn 11, brakes early, it's the apex, and going towards turn 12, and he misses the apex a bit. I guess Caesar is struggling with his setup, and he has sent. Oh my god, he rode the curve, he lost a bit of time there. And yeah, definitely Caesar is struggling with his setup or car or tires, I don't know. Activating the DRS onto the back straight, going towards turn 17. So let's see how this goes. And he brakes early. He is not like, oh, okay, might be his banker, so he's taking it easy. So let's see. And he is using every inch of the track right there. And he's up into P2. Okay, that wasn't that bad,
Wow.
but yeah.
That was quite unexpected from Caesar. His restaurant has gone even faster with a, I think that was an improvement by a few hundredths of a second. VFix is on a lap, and let's see how his first sector is shaping up to be. I'm not sure what was the sector split because he had set his earlier time on a set of medium tires. But yeah, that lap from Caesar, Srikant, as you said, it seemed a bit untidy, but it also felt like he was struggling with some lag. So maybe, as VFX also rides the curb quite heavily there. But maybe that's not how it. And VFX is up by almost a second, 8.5 tenths up on his current time. He's dropping down the order as Ethan goes P3 with a 27.1. And let's see what VFX does. He has a clear track ahead of him after clearing the Ferrari on the back straight. And VFX has to be careful on the power. He does that, does not lose his car. And across the line goes the Red Bull. Can he go P2? Yes, he does with a 26.9, about 8 hundredths of a second faster than Caesar. Now these two, I'm sure you remember Monaco first lap, where Caesar got a brilliant start as he usually does, and VFX got a mediocre start as he usually does. And well, their race was more or less over. Well, Caesar, it was truly curtains, but it really ruined VFX's race as well. So this track, what are your thoughts, Srikant? The overall layout, it's not a very long run down into turn one. And personally, I like the first sector, but apart from that, I'm not really a huge fan of this track. Now, you drove, 28, 29 laps around here last night, plus a few qualifying laps. What are your thoughts about this circuit?
The circuit is pretty nice, like Sector 1, and except that parking lot chicane, everything is nice. And there was a tongue slip, but yeah, it's a low grip track just like Vegas, so you need to be careful on your throttle. If there's a little bit of extra throttle, you are in the wall. So yeah, that's it. And in all of that, Mala, what are your predictions for quali?
Well, Redstone Dub definitely is going to, I think, take pole. That shouldn't really be a surprise. Is 4 tenths of everyone right now, and is yet one more run yet to go for him. So I think it's between these drivers like VFX and Caesar. Even Jishnu could play a part. Basil sometimes puts in a good lap time. He's languishing down in P8 right now, which is a bit of a surprise. And let's see. I think anyone between P2 to P8, what you see on screen right now, could be in a shot for that front row. And let's not discount not Sumer of all people. Remember our season 4 champion, is it? Yeah, season 4. No, season 5 champion for. Was it season 4? I completely forget. I think it was season 5 where Sumer won the championship in Division 1 while battling VFX in a season long controversial battle. But let's see if he can spring a surprise. I think Hirsch will come back to the pits. We were spectating his end lap. Yes, that is correct. So Hirsch and Caesar in that McLaren. Yeah, that's a good second row for them right now. What do you make of this pairing, this driver pairing, Srikant? Hirsch and Caesar.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know right now.
Well, we'll see how they. I don't think they have really battled each other. They haven't needed to. Usually, they are on separate parts of the grid as far as race is concerned, and different parts of the track. But if they need to battle each other, it will be interesting to see how that pans out.
Oh, by the way, Malav, there is a huge amount of time in track evolution on this track, so we might see the grid mix up. So keep an eye out on that. So we have Yash Gosalia, the only guy. Okay, he might be. Yeah, he invalidated. So yeah, he is going into the pits. Then we have Vintage player reserving in D1. Hello, Vintage. His pit lane was the nicest thing I saw yesterday. So Malav, what do you think? What the pole time will be? Hello.
Can you hear me now, Srikant?
Yes, I can.
Okay, yeah, there was some issue with my mic. So Yeah, so low 26s is what I expect from Redstone Dub. I think he will still has a couple of tens which he has stored in the locker, and he will be putting out an absolute worldly towards the end of this qualifying session. As Shal in the comments asking where's Shooter. Well, Shooter apparently is moving houses, Obinav. So
Oh no, no, he's not moving houses, but due to some personal issues,
okay, yeah,
he's
so
not
he's unable
racing.
to race. But why are you not racing, Shal?
Yeah,
You are a
Charles,
Division
why
1
are
driver.
you not racing?
Maybe if you have time, you can join us just in time before the race starts. Everyone on their outlap right now, Srikanth. So this is going to be a very hectic qualifying
Yes, it
end
is
to the
going to
qualifying
be
session. Well, Charles, you can still join us.
everyone.
Well, he's woken up. Oh, there was some issue there. I think Reston was trying to let the Ferrari of Vintage through, and I hope he did not hold him up. Otherwise, well, we have all been waiting for Redstone to start from the
It's
back of
not.
the
It's
grid.
not vintage. It's not vintage. It's not
Oh, was it
vintage.
so
It's
bad? Okay,
Sume. Both
my
were
bad.
on outlaps.
My
Yeah.
bad, my bad. Then it
And
should be
Jishnu has
fine.
started his lap. Jishnu has started his lap going towards the turn for fast left-hander. He is using brake. Why is everyone using brakes in this corner? Okay, and he is going into turn 8. He will brake late, and he is riding that curb. And yeah, that's untidy. But let's see. The track evolution might compensate it. So let's continue on board with Jishnu going towards turn 11. And is that turn 11? Yeah, that is turn 11. And he brakes late for the corner, hits the apex, and into turn 12, he is taking it pretty nicely. And this is the important sector of the track. And he misses the chicane, and he has lost time. And sorry, Jishnu, but I am laughing at this. And
Yeah,
Harsh
that
and
was.
Vintage has written. Okay, on track.
Yeah, I think they both had coming together there. Harsh and Vintage, the McLaren and the Ferrari. They are on either side of the track. This is going to be close if Jishnu does not. Yeah, they did ghost in time. So Jishnu is going to complete his lap nonetheless. Is he? Yeah, he's going to complete his lap,
Yeah,
but through the
he is.
chicane,
I mean,
he
there's
was not
nothing to
tidy
lose.
and just across the line goes P3. He did improve by a couple of tenths. Caesar is up on his time as well. What about VFix? VFix is a fair way off. What about Redstone Derp? Oh, Redstone! He's made a mistake, and that is Redstone's calling over. So we are not gonna see a low
And VFix is
126s.
down by a 10. VFX is down by a 10. Caesar is up by 2 tenths. Caesar can take this pole away from Stone Up if he did navigate the chicane curve. Oh no, he didn't. Sorry, Caesar.
Lost a lot of time there. What
Yeah.
about VFix? I'm not sure. We'll see in the second and sector split just about now. And VFX is down on
And
his
he's
time. He's
down
not
by
going to improve. What about
almost.
Ethan? Ethan is improving 2.5 tenths for Ethan. And Noble Garter, I'm not sure. What about Baz? Baz is about to complete his lap. So let's stay with Baz for now. And across the line he comes. The Aston Martin of Basil, and that's not an improvement. Noble is going to improve by quite a
And
lot. But
Ethan will
first,
cross the
Ethan.
line. Ethan goes up to P5. Then we have Noble goes up to P5. Both overtake Hush, and Noble has jumped Ethan right there, and it's quali done.
Yeah,
So
that is
that was
done.
a pretty anticlimactic quali right there.
Yeah, I
Deepak.
expected Redstone to
Yeah.
improve by a couple of times, but I think he made a mistake coming out of that. I think you call it the parking lot chicane, which is where he had
Yeah.
to then abort his lap. But that is Redstone and VFix on the front row, followed by Jishnu and Caesar. Now, once again, Jishnu and Caesar, and these are the drivers who usually gave VFix a headache in the previous few races. So this should be interesting, the first few laps, and to watch whether Redstone can hold his lead going into turn 1 if he gets a near perfect start. We'll be back in about half a minute, Srikanth. Until then, if you can run people down through the qualifying positions, as I
Yeah,
just
I
need to
will.
be away from the comps for like half a minute. I need to get some water.
Yeah, I will. So the game is just loading for me because Jishnu was going in the pits. Yeah. So yeah, we have Redstone up in the Mercedes taking pole with 126.5. Then we have VFX and P2 Jishnu in P3, and then we have Caesar in P4, Noble P5, Ethan P6, Harsh P7. Unfortunately, he crashed with Vintage on the backside. Then we have Basil in P8, Sumer in P9. Then we have Yash Gosalia down in P10. Both the Alpines in P10, 11, starting alongside each other. Yash rounding up the top 10. Then we have Chips in P11, Vintage P12. Wicket Wiki not setting a lap. Did he have a quali ban? I don't know, but yeah, he didn't set a lap, so it will be interesting to see. And it's almost a 4 tenths gap from P1 to P2. And then we have Abhishek saying, wow, what without the Merc? I mean, we still have one Merc in here, so yeah, please. If you can do something about that, we will be happy.
All right, I am back, and thank you, Srikanth, for giving us that qualifying rundown. It seems pretty bone dry right now with graceful amount of sunlight. So seems
I'm
like a
in a
pretty
CA. In 2 minutes, you will get rain. Don't worry.
well. We can always hope for some tropical weather in Miami, and it should make the race interesting. But not too interesting because we don't have a lot of drivers here tonight. I think it was what 14 drivers. So
13, 13.
13 drivers. So I hope that not a lot of drivers crash out or the field is very spaced out so that we get bored once again.
No,
Uh,
no, but the field from P2 to P6, 7, from P2 to P7, we have lights out. Mala, please take us to the start.
right, lights are out and we are underway. It's a decent start from Redstone. It's a good start from Jishnu behind, and I think Jishnu might be going on for a move on VFix. He does try to go for it. Jishnu and VFix still side by side, and VFix has been pushed to some extent. Oh, there's a huge collision once again, and VFix. Those starts are not helping his cause once again, and now this is Noble going side by side with the Ferrari of Sumer. Sumer trying to hang it round the outside. I don't think that's going to work out for the Ferrari. In fact, it does. It's a good defense from Sumer, but look at the lead, Srikanth, from Restaurant Dub once again. 2 seconds is the gap already.
Everyone behind having chaos. Like, McLaren boys are up in P2 and P4, and we have Hurts going down the inside on Ethan fighting it back into the right hander. They're still side by side going into the parking lot chicane, and we have Hurts taking that position, and he has lost a large amount of time from Mattel Caesar's teammate. So he will be under threat from both the Astons and Noble and Sumer as well. So let's see how this goes. And looking at the tire situation, let's look at them. And we have Harsh, Ethan, Sumer, VFX, Jishnu, and Yash starting on hard tires. Then we have Basil and Ethan switching positions. Yeah, that's a big move from them because Basil is obviously on a better tire, so he will attack Harsh right there. So
let's see. I see a Ferrari streaking into the pits. Yeah, that Sumer is in the pits. As they complete lap 1, the gap ahead is 1.5 seconds for Redstone Dub. But what a start by both the McLarens, and Jishnu and VFX battling so much that the people behind them gained a few places there. Jishnu in the pits as well, so Jishnu has damaged. VFX has carried on his hard tires.
I mean, yeah, it was a strategy. His strategy didn't permit him to go on another set of hards. So yeah, he is sticking out on softs. I guess he's banging on a safety car considering the field is this close from P3 to P9. P10, yeah, considering Vintage is not going to fight them. So yeah, let's see. Harsh is under from both the Astons right now. Basil, who is on a better tire, he is really pushing Harsh into the chicane and into the corners. Harsh is taking a bit of a wide line through there, but let's see.
Yeah, Harsh is under pressure from both the Aston Martins, but primarily from URL Basil, who is on those medium tires and would want to get ahead of the McLaren by the time they reach the braking zone. They are side by side. Baz has the outside line going into the braking zone. I don't think Harsh is going to fight that. Yeah, that is sensible racing from both the drivers as Baz puts himself up into P3. Now, can he catch Caesar? 3 seconds is a gap between Baz and Caesar, and it would be interesting to see now. Baz has clean air, but mediums to hards is seems to be the preferred strategy for the most of the field. But there are a few drivers who are starting on the hards. Srikanth, do you think they would be stretching this hard tire stint and going on softs? Is it worth losing that time to
I
stay
mean,
out for the extra lap, few laps rather?
it
And
might
then,
work considering like a few particular situation, and we have Sumer retiring in the pits.
yeah,
Okay,
Sumer
I
has
thought
run
it
in the
was on track,
pits.
but yeah.
So did he have underbody damage there? Because well, he joined us only for a couple of laps. There's not Sumer. Unfortunate end to his race, and maybe he will tell us in the comment section what actually happened. Harsh, by the way, has stuck to the gearbox of URL Basil. He's not letting Baz get away, but someone who
And
is
we
getting away,
have
as
VFX
usual.
and Chips going side by side. Oh, VFX. VFX needs to back out because there's no space for two, and he almost clipped the wall right there. And we will have DRS enabled this lap, and Harsh has lost a bit of time in that chicane section right there from URL Basil, and everyone is, and Chips Chima is on the tail of Noble Gator right there. We might see a move from Chips Chima right there, so let's see. Will Chips go for a move right there? No, he won't.
Yeah, Chips does decide to stay back. People have DRS on this back straight as Redstone Dub starts lap 4 with an advantage of 3.5 seconds over Caesar, who has lost about 5 tenths, Srikanth, to Baz since we last monitored that gap. So Baz seems to be the driver who's catching up to the driver ahead. Everyone else seems to be in some kind of a stalemate as far as DRS trains are concerned.
Yeah, but Harsh is falling into clutches of URL Ethan right there because he lost like 3 tenths from Basil and Ethan. So let's see.
Well, this
Are the
track does have,
Astronauts playing some kind of team game?
yeah, that could be it. And this is now an overtake which I'm watching. It should be an easy move for Chips as he tries to get ahead of Noble Carter. No, it's not an easy move. Chips, I thought he will get. Oh, that's VFX trying to get his nose in, and I don't think that was the smartest of the move. VFX almost put himself and Chips in danger, and he's trying to unsettle the Alpine driver ahead of him as it's an Alpine, which is in a Red Bull sandwich, so to say. But you are Ethan now, just less than a 10. Now he's going for attack. Look at that. Ethan on the attack, and it might be an Aston Martin 3-4 by the time they start the next lap. Ethan down the inside of Hirsch, and Ethan. Oh, they're still side by side. There's some tire banging there. Hirsch does keep the position for now, but until how long? He clearly seems to be struggling, and all the while, Baz is trying to stretch out that gap to more than a second so that he can help his teammate get past the McLaren.
And in all of that, the sandwich of Red Bull, they have fallen by 1.5 seconds in all of that fighting.
Yes, they have, and now on board with VFX once again. Took, I think, a bit too much curb, but this time it should be easy for Chips to get past Noble Carter with DRS. But can VFX get past both of them? He's gonna go for it. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna go down the inside of both the cars. Goes VFX. He goes very deep into the corner.
VFX goes
and might lose another position to Yash Gosalia. Yeah, not the best start to the race for VFX. Well, the start was poor. He lost the position to Jishnu, and then there was contact. But here goes Yash Gosalia now. He's getting interested in all this. Not Yash Gosalia, it was Wicked Vicky, my bad. But Wicked Vicky getting quite interested, and he's going to go for a move down the inside of Noble. Is VFX going to go down the inside as well? He's trying to get past his teammate. There is some contact between the Red Bulls.
Contact.
This is Baku all over again. What year was it? Was it 2017? 2018, I want to say?
18.
Yeah, 2018.
Yeah, 17 Daniel.
But, well, VFX is finally through on his teammate. And Baz is slowly but surely catching up to Caesar. And since he has made this overtake, he has made about 1.5 seconds on the Supreme Leader. So let's see how his progress goes. Harsh has lost DRS to Basil. So this time around on the back straight, Srikanth, Ethan should be past the McLaren. What do you think?
Yeah, they will. And after that, will Basil slow down to give DRS to Ethan? And Ethan is not waiting for the back straight. He's going around the outside of that McLaren and he will make the move for P4. No, Harsh is fighting it back and they're still side by side and Harsh backs out. And URL Ethan is up into P4. Will Basil slow down to give him DRS so they can maintain the position? No, I don't think Basil will. So yeah.
So Basil has his own race with Caesar, so I don't think he would want to wait around. He wants to catch Caesar as quickly as possible, but Ethan is through and well, he has a good advantage over Harsh already. Harsh obviously will stick around in DRS. What about VFix? Is he going to go for a move on wicket Wiki? Yes, he is. It sends one down the inside on those hard tires. VFix is up into P6 and 3 seconds is the gap to Harsh, which is the next group of cars along with Basil and Ethan. So VFix might want to get a move on, but all's good in the life of Redstone Dub, Srikanth. 7 laps gone. The gap is 6 seconds to the next car.
Let's ignore him. Let's try to ignore him. Like there's no P1. Let's ignore him and let's continue the race from
well, Srikanth,
right
you led this race last night, and there was a gap of I think 10 seconds towards the end. So
it was still boring.
Yeah, I can understand, but I don't think. Did you also start watching the TV screens on the track like Max Verstappen does in real life when he's leading the race and doesn't really have a battle on his hands? Ethan, by the way, I don't know if Baz slowed down, but Ethan has caught up to Baz. He is within DRS range of his teammate. So, well, I don't know if that's by design or. But Baz has caught up to Caesar as well. So it's all working out for the Aston Martin boys right now. And Ethan would need this DRS support because Harsh has clawed to the back of him. But let's see what happens because Ethan and Baz, of course, on different strategies. And should be a standard one-stopper for the people who are started on either mediums or hards.
I mean, the guys starting in hards who are sticking up right there, Ethan, Harsh and VFX, they are at quite a massive advantage because the car will be light, mediums, better tire will be less, and we have wicket wicking. Oh,
it felt like he was going to go for a move. Yeah, it felt like it, but I think his car was a bit unstable coming out of the final corner, which is why it gave us that impression. But VFX has not been able to really pull away after making that move on the AlphaTauri. And he has not made
all of that.
any inroads.
Has closed up to DRS range of Mercurial Caesar. We might see a fight for P2. Let's go some fighting. So yeah.
Well, the midfield has been battling for a while, Srikanth. So I hope you're not being unfair to them. But Baz seems to be just about in DRS range. Yeah, I think we need to give him about a few more corners, maybe a lap or two, to solidify his position behind Mercurial Caesar and within attacking distance. So let's see what he does. But this chicane is just the stuff of nightmares. I've not driven this track at all on any game as far as league racing is concerned, but I can understand how painful it would be.
You did, Malav, you did. I remember season 9 you did.
I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have.
Oh, no, you didn't. Yeah.
Yeah, well, Baz is almost within DRS range. He was for a moment just about teetering on that edge of less than a second's gap. I think he's still a little bit away from him. Oh, there's a
Redstone! Oh my God! No way!
It's a safety car. I can see his car.
I was joking. I was literally joking. Redstone.
Well, Redstone Dub. I did tell him I will panoti him, and I am so sorry for all the Mercedes fans. I'm sorry, Abhishek.
I was completely joking.
Oh my God, Redstone Dub out of his own accord.
And he crashed the same place where he crashed in season 8, I guess. That sector 1 under safety car, but this time this wasn't under safety car. I don't know what. Was he looking at his MFD or what?
Or someone called him. I don't know. I'm asked him on Discord.
Malav,
He's saying throttle.
this race is going to be. Malav, this race is going to be way too much interesting right now. With the midfield battle is now escalated into the battle for lead. So let's see
And
how
do
this
you
pans out.
think it has gotten a bit overcast all of a sudden? Or is it just me? Is it my mind playing?
It's your mind, and it's just the bloom from the sky. So yeah, that's it. Okay,
Well, do you
never
think the
mind.
medium
It's
runners will
getting
pit?
overcast. No,
Do you think the medium
yeah,
runners
it
will
is
pit?
getting overcast. No, it's way too early to pit for mediums, but they should because the hard tires guys, or maybe not, because these guys can like extend it to the softs. Let's see what will Caesar do. Caesar in the pits, Basil in the pits, Ethan in the pits, Hutch in the pits. So both the Astons, both the McLarens are boxing, and they will do a double stack. And VFX is staying out. Why did
Nice.
Ethan and Hush box? They were on hards. Isn't it too early to box? Are they banging on another safety guy? And this has helped Jishnu to come back in this race. Wow. And we have Abhishek in the chat saying, what did I miss? Abhishek. And VFX almost overtook the safety car.
VFX.
My God.
He almost disqualified himself there. And well, VFX had to stay out. He was on the he was on the hard tires, and like he can't go on the mediums, right? So might as well just stay out. It has gone very overcast, Rikant, I must say, especially in this shot. And if there is some rain in the air, that would just be fantastic news for VFX, because then he has maintained his track position as the race leader, and he would then straight away go on to those intermediate tires. But it's too soon to talk about. Well, you know, people have been complaining about Division 1 races.
Viewership increased after you sent out that tag, but yeah. And
Yeah.
Abhishek, what did you miss? You just missed Redstone Season 8 Miami under green flag conditions. So yeah, go rewatch that race where I challenge you. So yeah, let's continue.
All I would ask, Srikanth, is you sometimes go on board with a few drivers to see if there are any spits of rain. Yes, Gosal has a penalty. I think that's a time penalty of 3 seconds. That's the only penalty we have. We have 11 drivers in. Safety car is in this lap. The pack has bunched up, and it is going to be a very, very interesting race from here on. I really feel sad sometimes for people who are way too good at what they do. Example, Redstone, that people are cheering, including myself, his crash, because now it just gets that much interesting. But here we go. I think. I'm on board with Baz here, and VFX has still not gone, and Caesar is raring to go. So is Baz, Hirsch, and Ethan behind them on mediums. Everyone else on hard tires, and VFX has finally gone, and we are racing once again in Miami. 18 laps to go.
Chips and Wicket going side by side. So is Yash. They are going 3 wide into turn 1. Chips will make the move on, and so will Noble. Oh my God, that was too close for comfort right there. And Noble and Chips both making up 2 positions each, and we have both the Astons switching position. They're fighting each other right there, and we have both the McLarens close to each other. This is a fight. This is a 5-way battle for the league. We from fresh hard runners.
And VFX has lost the lead. VFX has lost the lead.
And Caesar will inherit the lead. And Ethan and Hutch going side by side. So is Basil. They are all going for the win right there. So let's see. Ethan will make the move.
Here is VFX. Here is VFX. Can he go for a move on Caesar? I don't think he's gonna send one down the inside. But there's a McLaren of Hirsch trying to go round the outside of Ethan, and
down
Hirsch.
the inside. They're too close. They're too close. They will lose time here if they go side by side. Yeah, Hirsch backs out, and Basil almost here ends Hirsch right there. So yeah, it's a pretty close trade from P2 to P8. So yeah, that's pretty close for comfort. And is that yeah, Basil and Hirsch lost 7 tenths to Ethan, and Ethan side by side with VFX. So Ethan will make the move up into P2. Will he? Yes, he outbreaks VFX Cutter right there. Harsh going down the inside. He will make the move, and that's a pretty late drive from Harsh. And they're still side by side. Harsh will make the move for P3. Now he will chase down Ethan and Caesar for the win right there. So let's see.
Well, do you think those medium tires will last, Srikanth?
No, they
Baz!
won't.
Completely missed his braking point there. I think he miscalculated how much the braking zones would differ for his fresh hard tires versus VFix, who's on level 11 lap old hard tires. Caesar, by the way, 1.1 seconds is the gap. And is this the moment of the season where Caesar picks up his mandatory win?
I
But
mean,
yes, medium
it's a
tires.
pretty
Medium
battle
tires.
for-
Do you think
for
they
the
will
top
last?
six. No, they won't. They won't. The rear tire will be too much, and we have Noble Gutter and VFix Cutter. Noble Gutter will overtake VFix Cutter right there, and he's on to Basil right now. Let's see. Noble Gutter dive down the inside. No, he won't. He will stay back. So yeah, that's it. The Red Bulls are making a comeback right there, and I absolutely love it. So let's see. And it's an alternate pattern between McLaren and Aston's right there. And Caesar is losing time to Ethan right there. So yeah.
Yeah,
It
Ethan
will be
putting
an
his
interesting
medium
battle, I
tires. Ethan putting his medium tires to good use, and Caesar's gap is evaporating every corner. But I think he's in a very good position still because those mediums won't last until the end of the race, and unless there's a safety car, this is. Oh, Wave is going very deep into that corner. Chips might make his way through. Yes, it does. And do you think, Srikanth? Well, it's now escalation of commitment, but VFix just doesn't seem to be competitive. His tires have just not switched on.
It's Singapore 2023 all over again. It's Singapore 2023 all over again for the Red Bull of VFX Cutter right there. He's on old hearts. His strategy.
And look at that. Wicked
so...
Wiki is trying to get past the Red Bull. He'll have to wait for a few more corners because this is not a section of the track.
And all of that, Ethan and Harsh are in the DRS range of Mercurial Caesar right there, and Basil has dropped around 1.6 seconds off of Harsh, so it will be an interesting battle. We might see a McLaren 1-2 right there. So let's see how this goes.
This is going to be very interesting indeed. VFix is on the back of Chips, but I don't think there's going to be there's a late live bomb from Jishnu on Wicked Wiki. And can Jishnu make his way through? No, he did try. There was an attempt, but Jishnu has to stick behind. And P9, Gosalia and Vintage not really fighting for places right now, at least not with the rest of the field. But here is Ethan.
And we have Ethan with the DRS. Onto the back straight. Will he go for the dive down the inside? He will. He is going down the inside. He will inherit the lead from Caesar right there. And the McLaren drops down to P2. Let's see what will Caesar react. And Ethan and Caesar is coming back at him. Caesar around the outside. He will make the move. Will he? And he tries to outbreak Ethan. They're going side by side out of turn 1, turn 2. They're still side by side into the only invite Harsh into this battle. The McLaren boys, they need to play the team right here. So let's see how this pans out.
Yeah, this is a really interesting battle for the lead of the race, something which you don't see very often in Division 1 since the last couple of seasons. But now that the main protagonist has crashed himself out of the race, we are seeing a brilliant race here. And Caesar, I think he's going to come back at Ethan. Does have a lot of overspeed and he has DRS, and he should be making his way past the Aston Martin. He retakes the lead of the race, and if he can continue to frustrate Ethan and his teammate as well, then eventually the tires will run out. By the way, Wicked Wiki on the back of Chips, and Chips seems to be holding up some kind of a train here. Chips slightly wavered through the chicane. Now Wicked Wiki slightly wavered through the chicane, and I think Ethan is going to go for a move again here, Srikanth.
He will Harsh? No, he won't. Oh, Ethan backs out. Okay. I guess he will go for the dive into turn 1 because the sector 1 is a technical sector right there, so he needs to be ahead so he doesn't lose time to Harsh and Caesar both. Yeah, Ethan going down the inside will make the move. They're still side by side into turn 1. Mercurial Caesar covering off the outside. He will push Ethan onto the curve, and they almost make contact right there, and Harsh is now on tail of Ethan. Harsh is not looking comfortable in his car to make move for P2 right there. This will only invite Basil and Noble Carter arriving on the scene right there. They are in the DRS range of each other. So let's see. It's a very close battle for P1 right there. So let's see.
Harsh getting a good drive out of that long left-hander, and he's closer to Ethan than Ethan is to Caesar. And Harsh, does he think he can go for a move? I think it will be too far back, but here goes Ethan down the inside of Caesar, and he does complete that move. So it's Ethan back into P1, Caesar back into P2, but on the back straight, does Caesar get the position back, or does Caesar wait until the start-finish straight to get his race lead? Noble Carter and Bats. Oh no! No, I don't know if you saw that, Srikanth. What was that? Harsh losing a position in the most weird way possible as Caesar retakes the lead of the race. And Basil was just underneath Harsh's car there. God. That's one way to take a position.
This and is here a goes Ethan. Battle for the lead, Marlon.
Here goes Ethan. Yeah, we have a 5-way battle for the lead. You're damn right. And Srikanth, if you can take over comms for just a minute or so, I need to respond to a call I'm getting. I'm spectating the front three, by the way.
You're spectating the top three. Okay, I will. So yeah, let's continue on with the battle. Ethan still onto the gearbox of Mercurial Caesar right there, and so is Basil. The team's orders are triggered in the Aston Martin garage right there. So we might see Basil and Ethan switching place or not. We might see Basil killing Harsh's tire and then they sort it out later. So let's see Ethan, and we have Chips and Wicked also trading positions. Then we have Ethan going down the inside. Will Basil make the move? Basil will back out. Ethan down the inside. Basil is looking optimistic right there and he backs out of the move. And Ethan is slowing down Caesar so that Basil can make the move, and it can get Aston Martin 1-2 Aston, and oh my god, Caesar almost loses. Basil looking for the move. Basil down the inside. Caesar is out of shape right there, and Basil had a better run on Caesar this time through, and let's see. And Ethan has pulled a gap of 6/10 on Mercurial Caesar. Mercurial Caesar with the DRS. Basil will deploy everything to overtake him. Basil around the outside. And will Ethan cover up Caesar? No, he won't. And Harsh has dropped half a second behind Basil right there. So let's see. Right now,
all right, I am back, and wow, that is some defending by Mercurial Caesar to retain or to keep his P2. But Basil, he is a man on a mission right now. He wants to get ahead and make it an Aston Martin 1-2, as Azul in the comms box is saying that if Basil wins this race, Caesar should just shut down the division. I think Azul, Caesar should shut down the league if Division 1 drivers allow Basil to win this race, and I wouldn't hear the end of it. But here's Basil on the attack once again. He lost some time to Caesar by running that curve. There is a yellow flag as VFX has made a mistake, and he is... Well, he's lost a few. He's completely round. He's facing the opposite way, and it's just gone from bad to worse for VFX. So still out on track, and that decision to stay out, Srikanth, is just being proven wrong, lap after lap.
I mean, yeah, he is now just waiting for the figure right now. Because I can't see any overtakes in the making, because Jishu, who spun out from lap 1, he's not making that kind of progress.
There is another yellow flag. Is that
yes,
Gosalia?
And yeah. Caesar coming too close to Ethan right there. Caesar won't make the move this time, and Caesar almost loses his rear end, and Basil is not gaining that much time on.
By the way, Chips has just gotten past Wicked Vicky. They're still battling for the position, and it seems like Chips has just gotten about ahead of the AlphaTauri. But if you are in Caesar's place, Srikanth, what would you do? Would you just be patient, because eventually those medium tires will fall off a cliff, and then the hard runners will have an advantage? So would you want to battle very hard right now, or would you want to just conserve your tires, conserve your ERS? Caesar,
I mean,
he's losing his car quite a bit, and I think that has now really put Baz into equation once again. But Baz is not using his battery. He doesn't have a lot to play with anyway. And these three have kind of put a gap. But here goes Caesar down the inside of the Aston Martin of URL Ethan. Ethan locks up a little bit. That's just about giving each other enough space there. Wicket weekend chips behind, extending more positions. And at what point, Srikanth, there are team orders at Aston Martin? Because Baz seems to be on a better
I don't
strategy
know
right now.
because both the Astons, both the McLarens are on literally the same strategy. So it's a pretty awkward situation because there's one mistake, the other teams, the team
Here goes
can
Ethan.
capitalize
Here
on
goes
it.
Ethan down the inside of Mercurial Caesar. This is carbon copy of the move. We have seen a couple of
And
times
they almost
already,
make contact.
and Ethan
And
does
Caesar will
make
get
this
the
move.
DRS.
Yeah, Caesar will get
Caesar will get the
DRS,
DRS, and
and down in the
into
turn
turn
one,
one he compromises.
this is very tricky for Caesar to make the move, and yes, he does stay behind for the first part of the next lap as Basil is just not able to capitalize, is he? The front two are battling, but it is not really helping as I saw a lot of notifications in the chat, but these are just previous stats which are popping up on my screen. Now, Noble Carter and Hirsch are also in this fight. So if there is an incident involving a car or two, Srikanth, it could be anyone who ends up on the podium. By the way, it's not overcast anymore, and I think my hopes of rain. There's not going to be any rain here tonight in Miami. As Baz goes very deep, there's a controlled dive bomb round the outside from Yoral Basil. He has earned himself some space, and I think he has put himself into P2. No, Caesar does come back on that, but that was a good attempt.
And Caesar clips the ball. Caesar clips the ball. Caesar. I mean, he can't do anything because Caesar clipped the ball. And Basil gets a penalty for that because he had to take.
That might be removed as a yellow flag, which should be waved off. Yeah, there you go. It's green flag conditions once again. But Caesar has lost.
What did you do?
3 positions.
What did you do?
And Baz is up into P2, and Azun's blood pressure is rising every minute because Ethan pits. Ethan pits, and he thinks it's a 5-second time penalty.
Oh my god!
I'm pretty sure he's going on to those soft tires, but Wicket Wiki and Chips are battling, and VFX gets a 3-second.
Gets a penalty.
It's all happening here. Well, the bias is real. But
so this has promoted Hirsch and Noble into the podium positions, and with Basil in the lead. Pretty awkward situation right there. So let's see.
Azun, just don't forget to breathe because what you're seeing right now in front of your eyes is happening, and Baz has the lead of the race. He has a 3-second time penalty as well. Now, if I have to bet on it,
need to make that move. Hirsch needs to play it calmly because Noble might attack. He's on a better track. He will surely attack because he knows this is the fight for the lead. So let's see, these two guys were fighting in D2 are now fighting in D1 for the win. So yeah, let's go.
Meanwhile, after pitting, Ethan has overtaken Jishnu for P7 and he has 8-second gap to Chips. Let's see how fast he can close up. On the back straight, Hirsch with a 6th strength gap on Basil, and Baz seems to be holding on his own. I think those medium tires now, Srikanth, are pretty much second hand as compared to the hard tires. So is Hirsch gonna pit anytime soon? Yeah, Hirsch in the pits. Hirsch in the pits. So let's see where he comes out.
Oh yes, they can recover the time if they are second faster on these new mediums. So yeah, we might see a battle, and this has all again promoted Caesar back up into P3. So let's notice Hirsch's and Ethan's progress right there, and Ethan overtakes Hirsch in the pits.
Yeah, Ethan overtakes Hirsch, but Ethan has a 5-second time penalty, remember, for speeding in the pit lane. So that is something which he will have to account for towards the end of the race. Hirsch comes out about 5 seconds behind Ethan with one left fresher tires. Both of them are in clean air right now. They don't really have to fight anyone as VFix sets the fastest lap of the race. But he's in P10 and he just overtakes Jishnu because Jishnu is in the pits as well. So it's not really worked out for Jishnu in terms of this race. Is down in P10. He'll get 1 point, but not the kind of race he would have expected to
Meanwhile,
participate at. Yes, Kusalia
yeah,
in the
Kusalia in
pits.
the pits, in the pits, in
Yeah,
the
it's
pits,
in the
in the
pits. So
pits.
everyone who
And
finishes now
meanwhile,
will get points.
we have a fight for P3 brewing. We have Caesar, Wicked, and Chips.
Yep,
Yeah,
Caesar,
that's
after Harsh pitted, Caesar has not really been able to make any kind of inroads on the gap he has to Noble Carter. So now he has Wicked Wiki for company, and behind them is Chips. In all that, Chips could really bring up a surprise podium here because of what happened ahead of him.
yeah. But let's see the progress of Noble Carter and Basil. Noble Carter is playing it cool because he knows Baz got a penalty. But if Baz can remove penalty, oh, Noble Carter almost loses his car and he was almost in the wall, and he lost 2 seconds to Basil right there. And
And
now
yeah, he
Caesar,
lost more than a second to Bass, so that means he will no longer have DRS. Stay calm, guys. This is happening. URL Basil is on his way to take his first IRL victory. Well, as I say that, Noble Carter did claw back a few tenths. So it's not done
half a
yet.
second indeed.
Uh, and
Half a second, and he's almost gaining in the straights. How is Noble doing that without even deploying his battery? He is now, but yeah, that's impressive that he gained like half a second. And he's again gaining on Basil. Basil, I guess his tires are not that good because he was fighting with Caesar, Ethan, and Harsh for the lead. So yeah, and this has invited Wicket and Tips. Okay, never mind. I thought the gap was closing, but no, it doesn't. And Ethan is 3 seconds away from Chips and Wicket. So let's
yeah,
see
Ethan
what
is
will.
not very far from Ethan and from Chips and Wicket Wiki, but and you can see almost all drivers on that back straight in his shot, but that is really gonna hurt him. And if not for that, he could have been within a shot of the podium, maybe even a race win. But it's very difficult to do that when you have 5 seconds time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Baz just about keeping Noble out of reach, and he is maintaining the
But
gap to be
Noble
more
has
than a second.
gained a bit of time
Yeah, Noble has gained a
on
bit of
Basil. Like,
time, but I saw Noble's red light flashing as well. It's not flashing anymore. So ERS will also come into play here. I don't know, Srikant, you were here last night and you were driving here. Did you see how was the ERS usage and how was the harvesting around
the
this track?
region was pretty good. Like it was 7 to 8% a lap. So yeah, it was pretty good. And but if you are in a fight, don't expect that the region will be good. So yeah. And in all of that, oh, Noble has closed up to DRS range of Basil C, and he's exactly a second behind. And no, he's not. And he's just a few hundreds behind the DRS range of DRL Basil. So let's see.
Yeah, he is painfully
And but
close to Baz, and well, it's not working out for Noble right now. But if you can just push his car a little bit more, he will be within DRS range. And once you are within that range, once you get the benefit of the DRS wing or the rear wing being open, there are 3 DRS zones on this track, and it really just pulls you in front and ahead of the driver. But as I say that, he has lost a tenth here, so it's very comparable. The pace between these two, as Caesar almost loses his car coming out of turn one, but keeps it pointing in the right direction. Caesar, as we speak, is on course
by
to
the
get
way,
a podium.
Ethan has reached the trio of Caesar, Wicket, and Chips. So yeah, you might see Ethan
Yeah,
making
yeah,
some
Ethan
moves.
will
Chip,
need
his former
to.
teammate.
Yeah, Ethan will need to get past these drivers very quickly, and he's doing that right away. He's going for a gap which was diminishing Ethan, not the part of the track where you would expect him to go for a move, and it has killed his momentum, and he will have to sit behind Chips. Will he? Oh no, he goes for the dive, Ethan. And Ethan and Chips going side by side. I think Chips will have the upper hand going into the next set of corners, but Ethan with superior traction and fresher tires does take P5, and now let's see if he can cause any kind of trouble to Wicket Vicky and Caesar. I think Ethan can still finish P3 here, but he will really need to make these moves
He
very
might.
quickly
He
and
might.
then pull up a gap of 5 plus seconds, which is easier said than done.
Because in that fight, he lost time to Harsh right there. And you don't want to lose time. Because Harsh is his direct rival right now. So let's see, Ethan with those pressure and soft styles, let's see, will he make the move on wicket and Caesar right now? Though he won't, Ethan almost misses his breaking point, almost rear-ends wicket
Yeah, the
right
thing is,
there.
he has so
Ooh,
much
that was too
pace, he
close.
can break so much later as compared to the other two drivers ahead of him. He will have to calibrate his breaking point so that he doesn't run into the back of them. Otherwise, it's a catastrophe waiting to happen. Look at him, he's almost pushing wicket through the S section and is not really giving him any inch of breathing room. And Ethan must be quite frustrated in that Aston Martin of his. He wants to get ahead of the AlphaTauri, and he will do so now as he still can't manage to keep his tires from making contact with Wicket. Vicky's car is finally through into P4. He has DRS, so I don't think he has any fear of getting re-overtaken. Ethan up into P4. By the way, Baz has kind of extended the gap. It's almost 2 seconds to Noble now. So do you think at this phase of the race is Caesar? Oh my god,
Caesar almost
Caesar!
loses his rear
He
end.
is having some real trouble through this section of the track. Here goes Ethan once again, and Ethan should be ahead of Caesar by the time they exit the tight left-hander at the end of this back straight. Yes, Ethan is through, and now he has 4 laps to make up a 5-second gap to the cars behind. Now the DRS zones will obviously not help his case, but we can still cheer him on and see what he does. He's driven a good race so far, and his gap is gonna increase with every passing corner to the McLaren behind us. Vintage and Caesar, I think Vintage might lose one more position. Yes, he does to Jishnu. So Jishnu on the back of VFX, and let's see if Jishnu can get ahead of VFX. They're both on fresh mediums. They'll finish the race on these mediums. It's the scrap for the last bit of points. And oh, VFX goes very late on the. I don't know. Maybe it felt like he was letting Jishnu through there. And you would think, Srikant, that when Redstone crashed out, these are the drivers who would have hoped to be in contention for a race win, as Harsh gets ahead of Chips in one of those back straights and is up into P6. By the way, Ethan has cleared Caesar. Srikant, are you here?
Yes, I am here. I am looking at the time gaps between Ethan and Caesar right now.
Yeah, and it's increasing.
During the chicane.
Yep,
Go ahead. Yeah, it is increasing into the parking lot chicane because that's the section oh, and he has reached almost. Okay, he has closed the gap from Noble there, so we might see some few moves during the last lap. So let's see. On track, it might, but with his penalty, he might lose the podium if he is increasing his gap at this rate.
Yeah, so let's see. He'll have to really be on point with, and he'll have to also plan his move such that he doesn't catch the car ahead at the wrong section of the track. But he is closing up on Noble Gata, who is on 17 lap old hards. So Ethan, right now as it stands, will finish in P5 or maybe even P6 with that 5-second time penalty, but he is trying to go ahead as Harsh and Wicket Wiki are going side by side, and Harsh is through. The McLarens are having a field day right now, and it's McLaren P4, McLaren P5. Caesar still within a shot of the podium. Now Harsh has fresher tires. Srikant, do you think Caesar should let him through for the sake of the team? Because Harsh has a...
He should, because if he can, he might even challenge for P2. Like 2 laps, okay, never mind.
I think he might just might run out of laps, but Hurst definitely has a better shot at keeping P3 for the team. He's gaining on Caesar, and it is going to be an easy move for Hurst. Division 2 champion from last season is up into P4. That will turn into net P3, but as URL Basel starts the penultimate lap of the race. It's been quite a race for him, and that 3 second time penalty on track will apply, but I can bet everything I have that he will try to get that removed in the steward's room. But 1.5 seconds gap to Noble, and no more safety cars from here on out should mean that Basil will emerge as well. Right now he'll finish P2 on track when the checkered flag falls as vintage player is in the pits, and Caesar will try to hang on to Hirsch for now, because if he can do that, then both the McLarens can finish ahead of Ethan because of the time penalty. So Caesar might not get a podium, but he might still finish in P4 ahead of Ethan.
Yeah, Harsh is trying to keep Caesar in his DRS, so let's see.
And all that, Ethan has closed up to Noble quite a bit. In fact, he's closer to Noble than Noble is to Baz. But Ethan.
Is that Ethan?
Yeah, he's 1.3 seconds off.
Time into the chicane.
Didn't feel like it. In fact, it seems like he's gained more time because he's gained time on Noble and is pulled away from Hirsch. And look at that.
Going to fight?
Well, they might fight on the last lap. I said at the start of the video that it will be interesting if Hirsch and Caesar have a battle, because they haven't really had a chance to do that. But as we start the last lap of the race, it's pretty much clear that both of them will finish ahead of Ethan. So maybe, just maybe, there is a battle on for P3 here, and it's Hirsch going pretty wide there. And it's not just battle for the points, Shrikant, it's battle for the podium as well. So there is some prestige involved, there are some bragging rights involved. Caesar, of course, has had a podium this season, I think he has. I'm not sure about Hirsch. So this should be an interesting race.
He didn't have a podium this season, so yeah.
Yeah, Caesar has had one podium. And what about Ethan? Ethan is on the back of Noble Carter, but I don't think Noble is under any kind of threat. Caesar, 9. Oh, he was pretty close, Ethan, there, but he still gets to keep his P3 for now. Caesar was close to Hirsch, but then he lost out on the back straight. Hirsch's DRS, the battery light is blinking. But what about Ural Basil? He's on the back straight for one last time. What a race he has driven. Of course, there was some stroke of luck which he needed, but he has led the race for the past, I think, like 10 to 12 laps.
Ethan going down the inside
Ethan
of
for
the Red
move.
Bull, and he will make the move.
Yeah, Ethan will make the move, but the man of the moment is Ural Basil, as he is rounding off the final quarter for one last time. He takes the win in Miami Grand Prix. It will be Noble Carter who finishes ahead of him.
And it's a Red Bull winning, pending inquiry, but yeah, still it's a Red Bull win. I am happy. And we have McLaren 3-4, and Ethan has dropped down to P6.
Ethan has dropped down to P6. That's quite a drop for God. Ethan. Very unfortunate.
Contending for the win to P6. That's penalties cost you too much.
Yeah, penalties did cost him a lot of positions there, but it is Hirsch, by the way, who finishes ahead of Caesar. Towards the end, Caesar was within 6 or 7 tenths of Hirsch. I don't know what happened at the final corner, that the gap is 1.4 seconds at the checkered flag, and very unfortunate for Ethan to lose so many positions. His vintage player is the last driver to cross the line. He rounds up the top 10, so we do have 10 finishers after all, Srikanth, which I think was a bit difficult. I thought we won't really have 10 finishers for a lobby of 13 drivers, but we did manage to do that. And the people who crashed out, of course, are Redstone Dub, and then we had Not Sumer, and there was one more driver who retired in the pits. But yes, that is Yash Gosalia, yeah. So that is the race. It is Noble Carter. It's a Red Bull win on Friday, Red Bull win on a Saturday, but this win of Red Bull seems to be a little bit under threat in the stewards room. It's Basil and Hirsch joining him on the podium, with Caesar in P4. A strong race for him, an eventful race for Caesar with a lot of battles, and had he not lost his car where he did, maybe it would have been Caesar who would have been on the top step of the podium, followed by Wicked Vicky in P5. Ethan, because of his time penalty, finishing in P6. Chips getting a few points in P7. Jishnu and VFix with a race to forget in P8 and P9 and vintage player with one solitary point as the Division 2 reserve. So that's a race. It's VFix who gets the fastest lap. Srikanth, if you can get Noble, Basil, and Hirsch in the
I
podium.
have
Yeah, Baz
invited
is already here.
that review.
Well, let's wait for Noble and Hirsch to join as well. Noble is here as well. And is Hirsch joining us?
Hello, Noble. So we are waiting on Hush, then we can start our interviews
Yep,
after
Hirsch is.
Hush in chat.
Hirsch, let us know when you can hear us, and please confirm that you have audio sharing on so that people can hear you on the stream. Harsh, can you hear us? Hello, Harsh. Congratulations for that P3. Take us through your race. It was a good qualifying from both the McLarens, but what a start because of what happened on lap one and VFX and Jishnu both losing out positions. And of course, the eventual safety car, which led a lot of you to pit for those set of hard tires for the you, but you continued on. Yeah, medium runners for you and Ethan. Just take us through that decision as well. What was going on in your mind? Because I'm sure you would have known that you would have had to make one extra pit stop and the battle with Caesar towards the end. Yeah, the double medium strategy did work like a treat and good teamwork. Yeah, if that was a plan to not fight, because you would gain on the people or the constructors around you with a strong finish of P3, P4. Srikanth, any questions for your ex teammate Harsh, whom you don't like anymore?
Yeah,
I've heard.
I don't like this guy, but yeah, still I have questions. So yeah, Harsh, congrats on your maiden D1 podium and a brilliant drive from you. Yeah. So, were you conserving your tires and ERS behind Caesar, Ethan, and Basil? Yeah, that was so one controversial question. What happened between you and Basil into the left-hander, Iminwa? Yeah,
Of
that's a
course.
civilized manner. So yeah, congrats, Harsh, on your P3. So yeah, with that we will move on to a P2. Malo, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, moving on to URL Basel in P2. Baz, what a race! Just take us through your race, take us through what happened with Harsh, because what you were doing to him on stream, I think we would need to rate the stream only for adults. But just explain the 3 second time penalty as well, which you got, and overall, what did you feel about the battles you had on track?
Yeah, thank you guys. Congrats to Noble on your maiden win on track, and
Thank
Hush
you.
on podium. Yeah, I'll start with Collie. I lost like 4, 5 tenths on my I clipped the wall, but I'm used to qualifying pretty badly, so I knew I had a bit of pace in the race, and there was a lot of mess at the start, so I benefited a lot from that. Um, And then when I realized I was catching Caesar, I knew I had decent pace, and to see Redstone DNF was quite a shock, really. And then it was like, oh, reality check right there. I was like, I could actually win this maybe. Yeah, and then there was an incident with Caesar. I think he clipped the wall, and then I had to sh cut the chicane, which gave me a 3 seconds. So hopefully I'll try and get that removed. And yeah, I did have something with Harsh, but he ghosted. So at that point, I didn't really know what to do. Yeah, like he said, we'll, if he wants to take it to the stewards, then we'll take it there.
All right, congratulations nonetheless, Baz. And well, Azun is clearly not happy with the rest of the division for giving you a shot at the race win. So we'll see what happens. I think he's already on his way to bribe the Division 1 stewards to either penalize you for something which you did or not remove your time penalty. But that remains to be seen. Srikanth, any questions for Baz?
Uh, Nothing but yeah, congrats Basil on your P2 and a brilliant drive, but you also jinxed Ethan as well. Both the Aston boys were cursed because of you. So you can take the blame for both of them. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean Ethan had great pace.
I
If
mean
he
yeah,
didn't
he
get that five
was
seconds, he would have definitely
yeah,
finished
but
P2.
you are
So
his teammate, so we can't help it. So yeah, nice drive, Ethan. But yeah, your penalty. Thanks, Basil.
no worries.
Yeah, and good teamwork as well between you and Ethan, because I saw when two of you, because you were in different strategies all times of the race, you were not really fighting each other.
Yeah, we worked really well together. Party chat were just discussing how to stop these McLaren drivers. But yeah, no, we did really well together. So yeah, congrats. It was a fun race regardless of
Yep,
the result at the end.
absolutely. And moving on to Noble Gata, my teammate from Division 2 last season, and now is a Division 1 race winner. Noble, congratulations. And take us through your race and some mistake which you did, which made you fall out of DRS of Basel in the last few laps.
Yeah, honestly, not a bad race. In talk first off with Kohli. I had really good pace, and on my last lap, I caught up to Ethan a bit, and then I think I got a bit of uh, what do you call it, dirty air in the second or last sector, but still it was good enough for
Harsh, if you
P5, I
can
think.
mute yourself.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
if
carry
it
on, Noble.
wasn't for the dirty air, I think I could have had two in quali. And in the race, the start, I always have bad starts. When the lights go out, I just have very bad starts. But drivers collided with each other, and then I was division positions up. And in that Mickey Mouse section, the chicane, I saw Baz and Ethan and Horsh. I think they had a little bit of a moment, and I hit them. I slowed down enough to not hit them and get damage, but then Natsume was behind me and he hit me, so it made me have some damage, and I had to drive with a damaged wing for a few laps until the safety car came in. And unfortunately, or I mean, should I say fortunately, uh, Redstone retired, and that caused the safety car. So I pitted, and then after Redstone retired, I knew it was like a good race. It was going to be a good race because Redstone is dominating every single race, and when he's like out, you can actually have a good chance. But yeah, that safety car came in. I pitted, and then I went past a few drivers, I think, and I had great battles with Natsume and Chips. And in that metric section, the chicane, I saw Caesar. He spawned, and then I almost hit him actually, but luckily I didn't. He got ghosted, I think. And yeah, in the last few laps, the tires were just gone. I wasn't pushing too much, but I was using the ERS a lot. And in the first corner, I had a moment, and because I lost concentration, I was to one of the guys in the party, and then I lost concentration. So I stood bus, and from that moment, I just wanted to be within 3 seconds. And when Ethan caught up, I didn't want to fight him because I would lose a lot more if I fought him, and it was the last lap. So I decided to just let him go. But he was doing a bit of teamwork, I think. He was slowing me down. uh, but yeah, great race. At the end, I got P1, even though like Bass said he might get it removed. Still feels good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
this race.
was very well managed and very smart racing from you there, Noble. And yeah, a Red Bull, as I said, so Srikanth, Red Bull winning yesterday, Red Bull winning today. It almost feels like
Yeah.
IRL is preparing us for the real life Formula One season to begin, and we don't get surprised when Max Verstappen just puts it on pole by a couple of seconds. But either way, it's very,
Yeah,
very strong race from you, Noble, and I'm sure you can check the
thank you.
Discord messages later. People are quite happy that you did finally
Yeah.
get your maiden win. And for the sake of humanity, I
Yeah.
do hope that Baz does not get his time penalty removed. But well, that's something which
I
we'll have
mean,
to wait and watch.
congrats to Baz and Horsch, of course, for the podium, and I'm happy with this, even if it's not official. It's still a win before the Stewards inquiry. But yeah, this is my second win as of now. Could have been a lot more in D2, but yeah, a few mistakes I made in season 10.
Yep.
But yeah,
Congratulations
that's fine.
once again. Srikanth, any questions for Noble before we close?
Yes, I do. Congrats, Noble, on your maiden win. And yeah, so what happened between you and VFX in the final corner when you guys were trading positions? So,
Vifix, I have a moment with him.
you guys had a bit of contact when after the first safety. Was that first? Yes, that was the first safety car.
I don't
So,
remember.
what?
I,
Okay, you don't
I
remember. So
think
yeah, just let it go.
yeah, I think I was a hit, and then I usually break a bit early when I see people going side to side. So I
Yeah.
think that caught him a bit, and I think he broke too late.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the scenario, I don't. If not, then I don't remember.
Yeah. So
Hope
yeah,
I
that's a
didn't cause
brilliant.
him anything bad.
No, no,
He's my
you
teammate,
didn't. That
okay.
was just a bit of contact. That's it.
Yeah,
And that's a brilliant drive from you. Like you have what? P8 or P9 climbed back up into P1. Brilliant
yeah,
drive,
yeah.
Noble.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Malaf, carry on.
All right. That being said, congratulations once again to Noble, Baz, and Harsh. Commiserations to Redstone Dub. But we all know we are all celebrating your DNF. We'll see you next week in China. Until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye
Coated
and
track.
good night. Yeah, good quoted track, which hopefully Noah at least spectates, if not races at. See you guys. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.